Hi, innovators. This is Nyaesia here. I just want to come in. We have a special treat for you today. We're trying to get on our guest, Sierra Barker of the Kelly's Kids, Inc. So just give me a few minutes to get our guest on. And yeah, you're in for a treat today as we have our community voice. You'll be hearing a lot from in the next upcoming weeks, upcoming months with community voices, as well as the partners that we do have. So just give me a minute to get our guest on. Let me see. All right. Let's see what we can do about getting Sierra on. All right. Like I said, you guys are in for a treat today. We will have on Sierra Barker of Kids. She is absolutely amazing. Oh, I think we got her. So, okay. All right. Hey,
Hello, gorgeous.
Sierra, can
Good
you hear
afternoon.
me?
I can hear you.
Hi, good afternoon. Oh, I'm so happy to see your beautiful face.
I'm happy to see yours as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, look, it worked. I was a little apprehensive this morning if it was going to work, if everything was connecting right. So I'm so happy to see you.
I
See
was
you.
nervous as well.
All right. Okay. So now we have you in here. Well, for those of you who may be following us but may not know who I am, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Nyaesia Campbell. I'm the founder and CEO of Innovative Strategies, where we work with primarily on amazing organizations such as Kelly's Kids and other community organizations with capacity building, grant writing, program development. We do fundraising. We do a little bit of it all. So my team and I, we are small but a mighty team. We enjoy what we do. We love what we do, and we love working with passionate individuals that have a heart for their community and have a heart for actually increasing their capacity so that they can help even more people. So that's what we do, people. So today we have our community voice. And we're going to be talking about inspiring the next generation of change makers. Okay. So, on this, we actually talked to quite a few organizations, we talked to different partners, but we felt that we talked and we work with so many amazing community organizers. So we said,
Mhm.
you know what, we're going to start listening to some of our and showing and showcasing and highlighting some of our community workers and community public service health entities out here and community health entities. Our first person up on our schedule is Miss Sierra Barker. She is one of the most passionate, humble change makers I've ever met in my life. No, I'm serious. You really are. I've worked with
Thank you.
countless political individuals, countless community organizers, countless change makers, but you truly have a passion for what it is that you do.
Thank
So
you.
much so that I was telling my team, I was like, we've got to get her on. Because people need to know and be able to see your heart and see what it is that you do and how you're actively making a change within your community. So So Sierra, if you don't mind, if you go ahead and just kind of, introduce yourself, just tell us a little bit more about Kelly's kids, and then we're gonna kind of get into this. Is gonna be conversational, okay? So I definitely want it to be a conversational piece where we can, um, just kind of talk about the different changes and different things like that that you're passionate about. Sarah, I think we kind of missed you. Okay, got
I
you
got
back.
it now.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, like I said, this is Sierra Barker, the executive director and founder of Kelly's Kids. So, right now you'll be hearing from her, and we're going to have a conversation about some things.
Absolutely. Hi, thank you so much for having me on your platform. I'm trying to fix this screen because it's kind of in my face. I can't see anything. Sorry, you guys. I'll just keep going.
That's all
Can
right.
you guys see me?
Yes, yes, we can see you.
Alrighty, perfect. Alrighty, I'm Sierra. I'm the executive director of Kelly Kids Incorporation. I started this nonprofit back in 2019, and it's really based off of my childhood experience of growing up in like a low income neighborhood. I had an executive director by the name of Coach Morris Kelly, who he was like everything to me. He was like a father figure, he was a mentor, and he really took pride into stepping up and being like an active figure, male figure, I'll say that, in all of the children's lives who grew up in the apartment complex that I grew up in. He kept us like really involved in like I took work ethic classes. I played pretty much like every sport that you can probably name except for like volleyball. I did golf. I did
Oh,
football,
wow.
basketball. Yes, I was a cheerleader. So he kept us in those type of activities. We focused primarily on academics. We also had a summer camp. I took work ethic classes, and those are all the things that I want to give back to children in the community as well, because I feel like just going back to the younger me, those are the things that helped form me into the successful adult that I turned into today. It's just
Mhm.
being able, because people don't realize when we go to school, we learn a lot about academics, but what about the real world? Who's going to teach us those things about the real world, how to survive, how to get a job, about our goals? Like you need those type of things because without them, like you don't know. And you don't know until you're an adult that you go back and you look at things and you're like, I should have did this. I wish I would have known this.
Yeah,
I don't have those type of regrets. And I
yeah.
feel like that was based off of the after school program that I was in. I was able to get those tools that I needed to succeed in life. And I want to give that back to the community. I feel like children do need that. And that's what Kelly Kids is all about.
I love it. I love it. And I think you're absolutely right. When you need, it takes a village, right?
It does.
You think about these things and different things like that. Like even if you have a strong family unit,
Hmm.
and if you don't have a strong family unit, I think sometimes, we have other entities or other people that come into our lives that can shape us one way or the other, you
Right.
know. And it's a great thing when you're able to have those people to come in and just shape you as a as a young individual. And similar to you, I did go through some different programs and things like that when I was younger as well.
Hmm.
And Sierra, I know we talk about all kinds of things, right?
Yeah, we do.
But I grew up in a rural community. So
Hmm.
it was a little bit different from the urban setting. When you're in a rural community, you just don't have access to a lot of things that some youth may, encounter, right? So and
Hmm.
you don't know what you don't know until
You don't.
you're faced with it, right? And so
Absolutely.
we had things like Upward Bound. That was my thing. That was, I guess, the out of home village that we had. And we
Right.
had an opportunity to be exposed to some of the things like you're talking about, like those mentorship type of situations, and even in academics and things like that as well. So I think that's another thing that I think is so amazing is that when we have those opportunities and how it shapes our lives and helps us to want to be able to give back.
Right.
Now, I will say this though, when it when we're talking about giving back, a lot of times people feel like they got to be at a certain level before they can even give back, right? Some people don't
Right.
even
They
think
do.
about like being a change maker and what that means. So if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. What do you think a change maker is? And let's just talk about what being a change, what change maker may mean, because it may be somebody that's out there that feels like, you know what, I'm not a change maker, I'm not, on the news, I'm not, doing all these different things. But no, it's levels to this. So
It is.
what does being a change maker means to you?
Being a change maker to me, you're a hero in itself, whether you want to call it that or not. Just doing your good deeds to the community. It doesn't matter how big or how small, because even small things turn into big things over time. And it's the impression that you leave on people that creates the change. It's like planting a seed within somebody else. Something so small can turn into something so beautiful in
Mm.
itself. So that's pretty much what it is to be a change maker, is to be able to make a change, to leave an imprint on somebody else's life, and
Yeah.
it can turn into something beautiful as itself. Yes.
I think you put it just perfectly. I mean, when it comes down to being a change maker, I think you're doing your thing, you know.
Well,
You are one of the most passionate people that I'm seriously the one of the most passionate people
thank you.
about that's about her business. We come across many different people that are handling things, they're doing things, they're moving, they're shaking, they've become, and even some people that need a little refresher, a little boost to remember why they're in this business to begin with. But I have to admit, like, coming across you was like, man, this person's on fire. Like, like you truly inspire me to be better too. Where I feel like, well, dang, I need to do a little bit more for my community. I need to be doing a little bit more, I need to do something.
I think talking to you, it's the same thing, vice versa, because you motivate me. Um, it's the encouragement that you can pour into somebody else. So don't ever feel like that you're not doing your deeds, because you are. I
Oh.
feel like in this world, you have people that will being a change maker is doing your good deed. And I feel like you do your good deed by pouring into people,
Mm.
because there are times that I may not feel like that I'm doing as much as I would like. But the moment that I speak to you, like, I feel inspired. So you're a change maker yourself.
Well, you know what? I love this love. I love it. I have to admit, I really do. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about leadership, right? And what it kind of looks like, because with me, running my own business, and with you running your own organization, a lot of times, we have lives outside of that too, right?
Right.
And
Hmm.
then, and I think leadership can come in so many different forms. And I think you said it best, even with change making, just pouring into someone else. You don't necessarily it doesn't look one way
It
across
doesn't.
the board, right?
Right.
So
Hmm.
what how does it feel sometimes? How do you navigate I guess balance when it comes to leadership with your organization? How does leadership look for you with your organization?
As far as me taking initiative to go out here in the communities,
Yeah, yeah.
well, leadership to me, it comes with a team. Like, I feel like you can be a leadership in yourself, but your support system really helps you to take it to another level. Just taking an initiative, being the person that takes initiative to do anything in this world, whether it's just anything positive that you take initiative is you being a leadership in itself. In my organization, I'm a leader, but my team are also my leaders because
Yeah.
it takes a team. You can never do pull these type of things off just by yourself when it comes down to events because I'm only one person. So
Hmm.
I just really think leadership is it's something that's in us, but you just have to you just have to do it. You just have to
Yeah.
do it. We can all be leaders in itself.
I agree with you on that because, I love my team. I
Yeah.
love my team. They keep me together. You hear me? I mean, like
Hmm.
if it wasn't for them, like I wouldn't know if I'm coming or going sometimes,
Right.
And I didn't really understand that until I got some really good advice. Because when I first started, look, you have to wear all these hats, right?
You
And
do.
then someone told me that was like the best investment that you can make. One of the best investments that you can ever make is to get you a team. Get you a
Right. Right.
team, get you, some really good people who believe in what and what you stand for, what you're doing, and
Absolutely.
that is so true. And then on top of that, like for me, I feel like in this world, it's all about reciprocity. All of us, giving back to each other, right? So it's not about me just leading, but me helping to create the next leaders, which I
Right.
think is a part of the whole change making thing. So if there's something that I can give, if there's something that I can say, if there's some way that I can influence um the world in some type of way, I think it's my duty to.
I
So,
love that.
as a leader, I think it is my responsibility to assist with helping to create the next generation upon generation of leaders and things like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Because
You
it can
painting the
be
way.
kind of hard. It can be stressful doing what we do, but you have to, dial it down, dial it back. My problems isn't someone else's problem. So, it's thing where it's like, okay, well, you know, this person had this type of strength, this person has this strength. We're going to work on their strengths and tighten up on some things that may challenge them and different things like that, and to help
Mm-hmm.
them to cultivate whatever it is that they're trying to do in this world, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, so, okay, I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to
Okay.
hear about the babies that you're working with, right? I want to hear about how does that make you feel when you get a chance to work with the children and even the parents and the volunteers and things like that as well. How does that make you feel to work with, the kids? Because I wonder if you're able to see like some changes in them. Does that make
I
sense?
do.
Like are you able to see like a light bulb, go off, or see like some positive reinforcement or something
Absolutely.
like that? Can you talk to me about that? About, how that what that looks like with your organization?
Oh man, yes. Working with children in general, like it's an amazing thing because um sometimes they don't even know how amazing they are. But just having conversations, they're innovators in themselves.
Mm.
And sometimes we have to take off our grown-up cap
Mm,
and
okay.
be like just be on their level that way that we can understand what they're saying and understand their mind setting because they create the biggest dreams for themselves and sometimes like it's different because it may be something that a parent itself may be like, oh, I don't know, but me with working with these kids, I have to I take my parent self away and I go back to the younger me that I was, like the
Hmm.
imagination side. And you have to tell them, okay, well, you can do this. All right. And you tell them how they can go about it to do it. So
Hmm.
some of the things that I've come across, it was one little boy, and this is one of my touching stories because when we first started going back into the communities, I met this little boy, and this was like us doing one of our book bag drives that we did. And this is my first time meeting him, and I seen him kind of just kept walking around the apartments, but we seen him several times, and he's like my son's age. My son is 8. And so I pulled him to the side just to have a conversation, asked him, do you have school supplies? And, I didn't want to just approach someone's children. So I'm just like, okay, well, where's your mom? So he just pointed to the sky, and then I didn't quite get it. So I was
Oh,
like, well, where's your mom? And he was like, she passed away. And that
wow.
was so sad by itself. And what we did for him, we went ahead and we got got his school stuff. We also took him to the mall. We got his dad. So his dad takes care of him. Really
Mhm,
strong man, really nice guy. He's doing his absolute best with his son. But I also had a conversation with his son because I always pick their brain. Oh, how you're doing in school? How you like school? And he's
mhm.
like, well, I asked him like, how's his grades? And he was like, they're not doing so good. And so I'm like, well, what do you think that you can do better? And he told me that he can't make them better. And when he told me that, that kind of broke my heart.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, because when it comes down to children, it depends on the environment they're in and the people that are surrounded by them. Kids can be mean themselves. I think we all seen that in a classroom. If you don't get something, then they'll try to pick on you. But
Mhm,
us as parents and us as adults, like we have to boost their confidence when they're low.
mhm, mhm,
And so I did. I set him up with one of my friends. She does tutoring, virtual tutoring. She's also a nonprofit. She does Beast tutoring. So I set him up with that, and we were able to get his grades up. Things like that are what keeps me going
mm.
because these in our community, the community that we grew up in, like we're low on resources. So just doing simple things like that really make a difference. Those are the type of things that keeps me motivated in what I'm doing to be able to make a change. He has brought his grades up tremendously, and
That's
he's not,
good.
yeah, he's not that kid that has low confidence. I
Mhm.
would say that. So yeah, that's those are things that just keep me going with this organization. And it's a lot of kids that are just like that in their own way. Different
Yeah.
story, you know, but yeah.
Wow. No, that's a touching story because, like I think a lot of times we can become desensitized
Yeah, we
to
can.
what's really going on out here, and we can kind of look at them as stories instead of them being life stories, or
Yeah,
life situations and life experiences. Like I truly feel like you have touched that little boy's life,
yeah.
in a
We see him
positive
all the
way.
time.
you
Yeah.
know I mean, and stuff like that I'm not a super emotional person at all, but
Oh,
that right there, that had me choked up for a second because I'm sitting up
yeah,
here like, oh my gosh, like that baby, he probably didn't even know how to approach you, or
yeah,
how to
absolutely.
approach anyone. So you
Mm-mm.
can only imagine how many more kids are out there would love to become a part of something, but they just don't know how to approach. They don't know how
Yeah,
to ask. They don't know if
absolutely.
they should ask. So I think that's the importance of having an organization like yours, because you have
Yeah,
such a compassionate spirit and was
yeah,
able to be able to see, hey, this is a child that may need our help,
yeah.
and for me, this is another reason why I do the work that I do, is because I truly want to see everybody win. I
Right.
want to see I
Yeah,
want to see the communities to grow. I don't like having to say underserved communities, but they
yeah.
are. There are a
They
lot of
are.
communities out there that are lacking in resources. If they're urban, they may be experiencing some urban decay. If they're
Right.
rural, they may not have even received those they may not have even received a lot of resources to begin with. Why? Because a lot of times in rural communities, especially, when people get out, they never come back. That's it.
Yeah.
So the kids, or kids wherever they are, they just there. you know
It's right. You're right. You're right. And
yeah.
that's something else that sticks out is because even as an adult, like I said, I always go back to my smaller child, the younger me, is because I'm still that person, just I've overcome. So
Hmm.
I can't forget about where I started. So me, it might be traumatizing for some people to go back where they started. It's not traumatizing, it's just growth and understanding that everybody's not able, but if I can change a few people's lives,
Hmm.
that's a difference. If they can change a few people's lives, that's a difference. So,
Mm.
it breaks those barriers. And that's something that I feel like everyone should contribute to in some type of shape or form.
Okay, and I love that. I love that.
Yes,
And I like the fact that, since we're talking about, changing people's lives, I think that's true empowerment. I love the ability for organizations such as yours that empower um youth to be
yes,
able to have the skills that they need so that they can go off and have access to things that they ordinarily would not have access to, you know.
right.
That's true empowerment. And
Yeah.
because of that, that feeds back into the community, right? And so now
Hmm.
if those kids, even if they don't leave the community is straight. Why?
Yes,
Because their lives have been changed. So now they can have better types of jobs. They can create a better home for their situation when they become adults. And now
absolutely.
their kids will be in a better situation than they were when they were when they were coming up and coming along. I think that's
Right.
true empowerment and community development in itself. Um
Yes.
One thing that I will say that when I talk to many of my community partners or just partners in general, is just having strength in numbers, right? And just having
Right.
those type of partnerships. I think that's very, very important for organizations. How important is it for you, or how has your experience been when partnering with other organizations, or even finding more people to partner with? Because I know recently you were at an awards banquet
Yeah.
just recently. Tell me about that experience, and about partnerships, or are you even currently looking for some partnerships for your
Yes,
organization?
I'm always looking for partnerships. I was nominated for an award in Jacksonville as far as, serving my community, putting out good into the community, education. Um, that was the category that I was in the education. But something that I took away from that, I was able to like meet so many phenomenal people whose organization are based off of things that they've went through. And I've talked to a few of them, and we talked about doing some collabs. It's extremely important to collab with people because it takes a village. And it doesn't matter if you're in the same field as them, there is always work that needs to be done in the communities, whether it's someone in your community, somewhere across town, anywhere. There's always work. There's enough work to be enough work for all of us to come together and be able to make our communities better, because that's the goal. The goal is to make sure that you know we're able to provide those resources at the end of the day. Collabing is super important, and I do plan on doing that in the future, which I'm gonna say this year.
Hmm.
I'll be working with a few other nonprofits to make sure that we're providing the necessary resources for our youth in our communities.
Yeah, I think that's super important, and it
Mhm.
helps when, and that's something that we do talk to our community partners about as well, because it increases your capacity and your ability to reach even more,
Definitely.
even more uh, youth. Like for
Yes.
instance, if your youth, and speak to me about that, about what is the age range of the youth that you serve with your particular organization, for those that who may not know.
Kindergarten through 12th grade is my aim.
Okay.
I do work with um, outside of 12th grade college students, but my main goal is once I do get my actual building, I want to hire college students to come and work because I know they have busy schedules as well. So I
Mhm.
feel like that, give them a few hours, be able to help as well because we all can share our knowledge. No
Mhm.
one's greater than the other. There's
Yeah.
always room for growth. There's always room to learn more. So, yeah, I want to recycle that.
Yeah, and speaking of that, that whole peer mentorship, leadership type of thing, I
Hmm.
think that also goes back into creating, more and new change makers as well.
Absolutely.
So, by you being able to increase your capacity and being able to have those type of programs, to have those, older uh college students to come back and and to be able to to be a mentor, or to provide different services and things, and maybe even have an alumni network of your own might even be an a
Ooh,
cool thing to think
it
about
would.
as well.
Yes.
Really, I mean, because you have an amazing program. These kids are going to grow, they're going to thrive, and to be able to have some sort of alumni network where they're able to come back and say, hey, I participated in this program, I took advantage of, the educational resources, the speakers coming in, the center that we have. We had an opportunity to take field trips to different places and go on college tours and
Yes.
things
Oh
like
my God.
that. And
Yes.
so, they're able to talk about all those things and able to pour back into the youth that will be just now going through the program. So, I think, what you're doing, and I think even providing those type of opportunities, I think that in itself does create more leaders and more change makers. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
kudos to
Yes.
you for doing that,
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
I'm just a little and this is my question to you, because we only just have like a few more minutes left. But just what did you have any reservations or fears, and how did you conquer those fears when you started your organization, or with any challenges or whatever that you go through? Because I wonder sometimes if people may even have fears about becoming a change maker, or doing something different that's outside of the box, or doing something that, quite frankly, no one in their family or anyone in their circle has ever done before. So how do you push through it? We all have it. So yeah.
Um, I think my fear was, are people going to be receptive to it? Being that I'm 30 now and I started this back in 2019 and I was much younger then. So in my mind, I was like, are people going to support it? I think that was my biggest thing for me as far as fear as starting the nonprofit itself. But I feel that I'm slightly over that fear, just a bit. I still get fear when it comes down to doing my events, as far as how many people are gonna come, those type of things. I think those are fears of mine, but you can't let fear stop you. When it comes down to being a change maker, you can't, because somebody has to do it. If not
Yes.
you, then who else?
Yes.
And if this is your journey and your heart tells you that this is what you have to do, that's what motivates me to go ahead and just step out of my comfort zone. Because normally, like I'm kind of like I'm an introvert, definitely at home. Like I'm more to myself. Yeah, I am. I
Wow.
have to prepare myself to come out of my shell. I'm okay when I'm with my family, but to come out of my shell and speak, I'm more like, I'm shy about stuff like that. But I come out of my shell because this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to serve the community. It's me putting myself out there in order to be a hero to somebody else. So yeah, I think those were my fears.
I love it. I know. No, I love that, because I think I saw something a while back that spoke to, if your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough, you
Yes,
know. And I
yes.
saw that somewhere, and I was like, might be something to that, like,
I wholeheartedly
seriously.
agree. Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
and
And
say, when you're put in a uncomfortable position, it's because the Most High wants you to step out of your comfort zone. So anytime that you feel like your back is against the wall, that's because it's something greater ahead of you and you need to keep going. You need to come out of your box so you can be great.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with it, and I think that when you say that you put yourself almost on the level of a child, and not to just even get religious or anything about it, but just in different teachings, period, in different religions and different things like that, it talks about, having the heart of a child,
Yes,
and always, and just, having that childlike spirit, right?
right.
Because I really do believe that a lot of times what stops us is us, right? Like sometimes you may
Absolutely.
get negative feedback from someone or whatever, but sometimes you just gotta push through that, not even hear it, because you don't know what your path is. That's just for
Absolutely.
you. No one will be able to see that. No one may be able to walk that road or walk that path because it's not for them. So a
Right,
lot of times you can't even listen to that because they couldn't visualize it. It's not
right.
even it's not in them,
It's
because
not
it's
their
not even,
journey.
it's not their path, it's not their
Right.
journey. So,
Hmm.
you need to come up with a plan. I'm always about plan now.
Yes.
You can't go through life on just a hope and a wish,
No.
but I think that a lot of our dreams we can accomplish,
You could.
we can go back to that childlike, you know, um, spirit where we can say,
Yeah.
you know what, I think I do want to become, I don't know, a comic book artist. That's a
Yep.
multi-billion dollar industry. You know,
Absolutely.
create the plan and let's go. you
Right.
know, because people need to still live indoors. You still need to be able to
Mhm.
eat. But if you can come up with a substantial plan, let's go. So
Do it.
that's what I love about my job. Working with you working with organizations and leaders such as yourself, is because we're
Hmm.
able to brainstorm, we're able to think outside of the box, we're able to go as far and as wide as our minds and imagination leads us. We're just able to
Absolutely.
put steps and strategies in place to actually meet those things. So I
Absolutely.
absolutely love that you talked about, having a childlike spirit. I also love the fact that you were saying, if not us, then who? Because I
Yeah.
think a lot of times with change makers, people feel like someone else is going, well, not with makers, but with other people. They may feel like, oh, well, someone else is going to do that. You
Yeah.
know,
Can't.
sometimes I think that, we may miss something because we think, oh, well, somebody else going to do that. You know,
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
no,
That is very
No, I
minute.
think some things is, some things are for us to do.
Yeah.
That's why, it keeps coming up, or it's always, it may be a recurring theme or something like that, because it's not for someone else to do.
Mm-mm.
It may be, I don't know, it may be working with animals, it may be working in your church, it may be working in your community, it may be working somewhere. I think all of us can do something to kind of give back in some, even in
Absolutely.
some small way. One person may not be small for another person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, like sometimes I think we may even go through life um where we will think that something that we've done is very insignificant, like just saying hi or something like that to this person,
It goes a long
every
way.
day when you go and get your coffee or something. And then
Hmm.
you'll have a conversation with that same person, like, a year or months later, and they'll be like, you know what? I have a rough day or whatever. I had a rough day or something like that. But by you coming in and being pleasant person or just talking to me or something like that, that truly just let me know that there are good people in the world.
Yes. And it can be also simple. You can do something that simple and make a change in somebody else's life. You may make their day just by telling them hi or have a good day, those type of things. So, like when it comes down to our dreams, it doesn't matter your dream. It goes from in your head into putting it out into the atmosphere. It becomes big.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes bigger. It can become bigger than what you even thought of.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to keep going. You have to step
I agree
out
with
and
that.
say a hundred
I
percent.
look, I agree with you. I really, really do. Um, what are some of just not gonna go too far away from what we talked about, but what are some of your favorite things that you like to do with the youth in your organization, and what are some things that you want to do in the future with some of your youth in a perfect world?
Okay, some of the things that I like to do, just having a normal conversation with them. I want to see where their heads are. I like picking their brains. I want to see how your day is. I want to
Mm-hmm.
know, what do you want to be when you grow up? Those type of things. Because what I do, even if I can't, I can always give my words of encouragement. But even if I'm not in the place to put you where you are, you're in my head that I'm coming back for you, because we're gonna get you where you need to be. Because they start off young. They start off young. And just hearing everything that they tell me, okay, this is what you want to do. All right. I'm gonna make sure that I'm a permanent fixture in your life. That's why I want my center, so I can make sure they have somewhere, their safe haven to come each and every day. And we're going to make sure we get you to where you need to be at in life. You stick with me,
Mm.
we're going to go far. Even if you don't, you're going to remember everything, my teachings, the knowledge that I pour into you, to know that you're great enough to do it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Did you
those are some
get
of my
that?
favorite things. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And what, well, tell me where in a perfect world, just how far out, where would you like to go with your students? The world. Just the world is your oyster.
Where would I like to go? That's a hard one. Like, as far as taking them places, or how big do I see my organization, or
Yeah, yeah. Let's dream big. Let's dream big.
okay, dreaming big. I definitely want to do the college tour thing. If it's, I want to be able to put them on internships.
Mhm.
That way, hey, you say this is your dream. Let's step into this world and see if this is something that you really like. Because if not, we can always go back to the drawing board, because it's never, you never get too old to experience life and to figure out what it is that you really want to do in life. As long as you're ambitious enough to do it, then you're going to be fine. I see my organization expanding all over Florida. Like, I want centers
I
like
love
all
it.
over Florida.
I love
And
it.
hopefully, when people get the win of what we have going on with our organization, I want to be able to be invited to other states and
Hmm.
have those same type of impressions. Even if it's events, I want big events to take place every year where I'm invited to another state in order to touch some more lives. So those
Mm,
are my goals, and that's where I see myself
I
going with
love
my
it.
organization.
I love it. I love it. And we're gonna get there. You're definitely gonna
Inshallah.
get there. You're a go-getter. You're passionate about what you do. You absolutely love the kids.
I do.
You have a passion to see them grow, to learn, to be empowered, um, to be fully functional, capable adults. And I
That's
love that. Um, I am curious. How do you see yourself as far as being separated, I guess, from the pack? What is it that you want the people out here in the masses to remember about Kelly's Kids that separates you from the pack, from maybe some of these other organizations that are out here?
that I'm determined. I really wish people could really just have a day in my world just to see how passionate I am with children. Like, this is not just a career for me, this is my way of life. Um, I can't say what would make me different because I can't take away from other people's dreams and other people's crafts. But
Mhm.
to the masses, even if you can't come out here and do the work, there are so many people like myself that are willing to do the work.
Mm,
Some of us are this is our passion, this is our life. Like, me personally, I wouldn't feel right if I wasn't living in my passion. Like,
mm.
this is it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's it for me. Like,
I love it. I love it. I mean, and I think that passion really shines through. And I think, at the root of what it is that you do, because you have so much of a passion for what it is that you do, I
yeah,
think that it maybe even ignites a passion within your youth that you serve, you know?
absolutely.
Um, I think that may have even been something that was passed on to you from your mentor as well.
Yes.
Just having
Yeah.
a passion for life, having a passion to help,
Yes.
having a passion to be better, to do better, and to help the world to be better, you know?
Absolutely. He,
Yeah.
just to share this, because just piggybacking off of that, I never want to dim his light because he was an amazing man. But
Mm.
he did this until he died. He died from cancer. But you would have never thought, you would have never known being a kid, because we don't pay kids live in a world by themselves. He was always so happy, so
Mm.
positive. Like,
Mhm.
yes, he was a great man, but he did this all the way until he passed away. It almost seemed sudden to me, just
Wow.
being a kid watching this. It was almost sudden to me. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Now that's passion right there,
yeah,
because you see a lot of people in different organizations and stuff, and they're there because it's a job, you
right,
know, but not because, this is what they feel like they were on this earth to do, you
yeah,
know. And when it comes down to change makers and things like that, like you hear people revolutionizing all kinds of stuff, making, changing the lanes, changing the way people think about different things.
right,
When I think about your organization, I think about the way that you help people or can help people, the more people that are exposed to you about what you can do, or helping youth to be able to see what they can do, how the
right,
possibilities are endless. Like for
absolutely.
me, that is one thing that separates you from the pack for me, is the fact that you give youth encouragement, and you
Mm,
have such a passion for what it is that you do, so much so that I think that it ignites passion in other people, and that in itself is huge,
yeah,
because I think like, in this world we're exposed to so much stuff, right? We're
mhm,
we all on social media, we have all these different platforms and things like that. But even though we have access to so much stuff, there are so many sad, just really negative people out there. Now
mhm,
you have access to all of this good stuff, but that's what you gravitate to, you
yeah,
know? And so it's refreshing for me to be able to do what I do, because I love working with organizations and people like you. You know what I'm saying? That love what they do. I do. I absolutely love that,
it shows.
because it helps me to know that this world is a good world. There are some good people out here. There
Mhm,
are some people who care about other people. There
yes,
are people out here who are trying to have a passion for other people, and seeing other people do well and do good, and just truly go out here and just do it.
mm,
So I commend you for that, because the way that you be loving on them kids, and make them feel like they can go out here and just do anything, you know
mhm,
I love and would love to even see you get more funding, more resources, more things so
Yes,
you can touch even more lives in Florida and outside, of course, you know.
absolutely.
I,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, I love that. I love everything about that. So now you're letting all these people know, all these kids know that you can do anything that you put your mind to, you know.
Absolutely. And don't take it away from them.
Absolutely. What is it? What is it? Well, we only got about 9 minutes left, but I just want to ask maybe just a few more questions since this conversation, we're just talking.
Sure.
What is it like working in the, you know, in the communities that you work in? Like, is it, you know, I'm always I'm always curious about that. Like, do you have to really know someone in those neighborhoods? Because I know you work in some very um well, I know a few neighborhoods right off the top of my head that I'm gonna
Yes.
be honest with you. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm you know that they're not it is not my neighborhood, and I don't know
Yeah.
anybody in there, so I'm not gonna do anything but pass through.
Yes.
So you know I'm not even gonna pretend. So I mean, what is that like? Like seriously, no. Look, I
No, I
commend you.
understand. I
I'm
understand
I'm look, I'm
completely.
a country girl. I'm not, you know, I'm not urban. I'm a country girl. Just some stuff I'd be like, oh, let me drive on through. I can't. So
So
I mean, what is it like though? Seriously.
so believe it or not, I come from my neighborhood is not so different, and it is different when you're going in other neighborhoods. But believe it or not, people are like more accepting and they're more welcoming
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like throughout life, even when you're in the midst of like high tense environments, we'll call it that,
Mm-hmm.
people still have good hearts. They still want to see good in their community. They still want to be kids are always someone people's soft spot. So if
Yeah.
you can reach out and touch kids' life, they're really accepting. They're really supportive, and it's like nothing's gonna happen to you around there because this is their community as well. So I put my fears aside because it's like me again. Like I'm just not the most social, but I put on my brave hat and I put on my superhero cape.
Yeah.
And when I go out there, I'm just myself. Like my heart is out there. When you see
Yeah.
me working, you see my heart. You don't
Yeah.
see anything else. And people are accepting of that.
Yeah.
And they're really supportive of that. Even though those high tense environments, they might have like higher crime rate, but they're really supportive. They want to see good happen too. Cause I feel like just based off of my experience of going in some of these environments is that they want better for the kids. They want to break the cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, they're there making sure that everything is going according to plan
Mm-hmm.
and the kids are getting the education and the resources they need in order to be successful in school and in life.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
No, I commend you because you're boots on the ground, right?
I
And then a
am.
lot of times people they feel like, oh, we're gonna throw a little money at it, and that's gonna
Mm-mm.
be okay. Like you boots on the ground. Like I mean, like I know Liberty City. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
I'm in
I know
Dade.
some of
I'm in
these other
Dade.
yeah, yeah. You know, so I mean, so I'm knowing like some of these areas you do have some amazing people that love their community,
They do.
and love their children and want better for their children, right?
Yes,
And it's
absolutely.
great that you're there and that you're in, in Jacksonville, that you're in Miami-Dade, that
Yes.
that you are expanding, and hopefully we can get
Mhm.
everybody in between. We can hit Orlando, we can hit, so many of these other, West Palm, we can hit, some of these other, uh cities and counties and different things like that
Mhm.
in between, because you know a lot of kids, that's the generation, right?
It
These are the
is.
people who are gonna be taking care of us,
Mhm.
like we're not gonna stay young forever. Even though we
Mhm.
looking good now, we looking good, but we're not gonna stay young forever. So we have to make sure and ensure that this world is gonna be taken care of. So I get it.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I commend you for what you do because I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. I know that you do need funding. I know that and I'm definitely gonna make sure that you get your minute, get your time on here to basically let everyone know. If you have any events or anything coming up, you can talk about those now. Or any events or anything that you have coming up in the spring or the summer or
Absolutely.
the fall, because folks, he has anytime there's um I guess breaks or whatever from the school or whatever, she has these events and amazing
Yes.
after school type of initiatives and different things like that. And for I know you're going to get to a point where you're going to have after after things and stuff like really on getting getting the
Yes.
she can explore and be this new years. So
Yes.
you want
Absolutely.
to talk about sense and things that was great, and also how they get so to donate
Yes.
to what it is you have. You are
Mhm.
doing some amazing stuff out here in the world. You really are. I'll see
Absolutely.
you back
Yes.
on here again talking to me soon.
And I would love to come back. I love this conversation. You can follow me on Kelly's Kids. That's KELLYS KIDSINC. I'm on all platforms. You can Instagram. I'm on TikTok, but I don't really tune into my TikTok. Our website is www.kellyskidsinc.org. You can donate on there as well. The events, I have the spring break bash that I do in Jacksonville. Um, it's just something fun for the kids to do. They work so hard in school. Let them let their hair down and hang out and have fun. Let them burn some of that energy out, because I know that as a parent, having kids in the house when they're not in school is crazy. So, our Jacksonville, you can bring them out. I'll be posting the event flyer soon. It'll be on March 23rd from what I'm doing now. I'm trying to get funding that way that I can have the necessary funding that I need in order to have, spring break is a week. The summer is like a month or 3 months. I mean, 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I have to have funding to be able to do that. Right now, everything's been coming out of my pockets and fundraising, and I've had donations as well from family and friends. So I always want to make sure that I'm acknowledging that. But yeah, the more that I'm able to get in funding, the more that I'm able to pour back into these communities to make sure that our kids are busy, they're being educated, and we're making the best of it. We're making the best of them, the best versions of themselves, I'm saying. So yeah, you can donate on the website. That'll be again www.kellyskids KELLYSKIDSINC.org. You can donate there as well. Thank you for having me, and thank you all for tuning in and listening.
Yes, um, one anymore because I think that and social point, we will
Yes.
be hearing from you very, very soon. Um, to maybe about these events going. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Next month as well, just before I go, I am going to do Dress for Success. I want the kids, I'm going to do probably K through 12, um, to dress as like what they want to be in the future. whether it's a doctor, a firefighter, and then I'm gonna also have speakers come out. So that'll be in April, and I'll be posting that as well on Instagram and on the website. So make sure you follow and subscribe on the website so you can get these notices just in case you guys want to come out.
Amazing partner. Is the next out there, guys, organizations and community voices. All right, guys.
All right, thank you. Bye bye.